Chapter 18 of Married Thrice to Salted Fish. In the Qingdai pavilion, Changyang examined Lu Chaosong's pulse, and his diagnosis was exactly the same as Lin Qingyu's. However, he wouldn't be so blunt as Lin Qingyu, only saying third young master Lu is overworked. In addition, he has drunk a lot of alcohol during this period, and this caused gastrointestinal discomfort. Fortunately, third young master Lu is young and healthy. For the next few days, take your medicine on time, eat a light diet, abstain from self indulgence, and you should recover completely in a few days. Lu Nian Tao smiled and said, Dr. Chang has worked hard. Then I'll write a prescription. Lu Nian Tao nodded and asked casually, I heard Dr. Chang call my sister in law Shanti. Changyang hesitated for a moment and said, What the second young lady said is true. The Shaojun of your honorable house and I studied under the same master, but we have not been in contact for a long time. Lu Niantao smiled and said, What a coincidence. It's no wonder that Dr. Chang was so overjoyed when he saw sister-in-law. Changyang, dot dot dot. Changyang wrote out the prescription and made to leave. Lu Niantao said, Dr. Chang is sister-in-law's fellow disciple. Why not go to the Blue Wind Pavilion to see sister-in-law before leaving? Changyang remembered the let's talk later that Lin Qingyu said to him just now and decided not to refuse. Thank you for your kindness, second young lady. Lu Niantao ordered someone to take Changyang to the Blue Wind Pavilion. She then had someone call another doctor to come and prepare the medicine according to that doctor's prescription. After that, she personally stewed a bowl of bird's nest soup and sent it to Nanan Hao, who was still poring over official documents even while he was relaxing in the bath. While Nanan Hao was feeling relaxed, she talked about Lu Chaosong being laid up ill in bed. She told him of how her mother had lost all appetite from extreme worry. She had already lost a lot of weight, and how her poor third brother, his feverish unconsciousness, kept calling out for his mother. This girl, I knew it. Lu Wancheng knew it already. She is as scheming as her mom. So she's sending this guy purposely to taint name of Lin Qingyu and kind of ruffle some feathers. Right? She's like, oh, my poor brother. Well, if he wasn't whoring himself, probably he would have been healthy. Gosh, these people still don't know our Dr. Len prescribes poison every day. And these people are just seeking death, huh? Gosh. Okay, back. Nanan Hao heard this and couldn't help being moved to compassion. 2 months had passed since the incident with Chen Gufei's birthday gift. Lang Shi had been confined behind closed doors, reflecting on her mistakes, made to know her place. But in the end, she was still the official wife of the Hao mansion, the nominal mother of his 3 children. He had to leave her a bit of face. Your mother has been recuperating for so long. She must surely be better by now, Nanan Hao said lightly. But she is still weak, so she need not worry about managing the mansion's affairs. After Lang Shi was set free from her confinement, she immediately rushed to Qingdai Pavilion. Upon learning the true cause of Lu Shaosong's illness, she was immediately filled with anger. Have you forgotten how you were admonished by Master Hao after you failed the imperial exams? You still have the nerve to go looking for a good time at the Zhao Fangxi? What do you think you're doing letting those shady hussies take you in? Being pointed at and severely reprimanded by his birth mother like this, the scholar in Lu Shaosong was shamed into anger. I never had any serious problem in the first place. It was that lynching you who added oil and said in front of the servants that a scholar, would rather accept death than humiliation. Then die, bitch. Okay. I swear that his hatred will be avenged, or I shall be too shamed to face life. Don't talk about it anymore, Lu Niantao said calmly. Mother has been released from her confinement. This is a good thing. Of what use is being released? Liang sighed. Now, your father doesn't trust me. Your maternal grandparents' family is of no use. After last time, your father has never been in my room again. He probably spends all his time at Sleeping Moon Pavilion. Lu Nian Tao said helplessly. Mother, how many times have I told you? A childless concubine poses no threat to you. It's sister in law. Now the mansion's little matters are handled by Pan Shi, but the major matters are in the hands of sister in law. Mother, if you want to regain the right of stewardship, your focus should be on sister in law. Lu Shaosong said, full of resentment. I don't understand. Lynching you is a Chongshi male wife. His father is just nothing but a fifth rank Pan Guan of the Imperial Hospital. How could he be played like how could he have played you all like this? Lu Niantao glanced at Lang Shi and said, I want to ask that too, mother. Why didn't you tell me in advance what you were doing with Lo Momo? Lang Shi knew that her daughter was extremely intelligent, and in front of her, she couldn't help being completely subservient. I, of course, I was afraid to worry you. If you told me in advance, I definitely would have stopped it. I asked Dr. Zhang, and he said that eldest brother will not make it through to next year. Then we simply have to wait. Why are you in such a hurry? And now you can't even exercise any control over the household. You also lost father's trust. Even once eldest brother is gone, Pan Shi and his sister-in-law will still be here. How can they shut out the sky with one hand? Looking back on it, Liang Shi too thought that Liu Momo had egged her into having her heart covered with lard. Lu Shaosong said, what's done is done. What's the use of you telling off mother now? Better put all that effort into thinking about how to get back the power of stewardship. I only got 300 tiles this month. How could that possibly be enough? Lu Nian Tao thought for a while and said, I may have a way. Maybe I can give it a try. Liang Shi hurriedly said, what way? Lu Nian Tao said slowly, continue to let that Dr. Chang look after third brother's illness. Gosh, I'm looking for the downfall of this trio for sure. In the bedroom of Blue Wind Pavilion, Lin Qingyu held a pen in his hand, writing out a prescription. Lu Wancheng, who was almost asleep, opened his eyes, wanting to see more of the beauty before going to sleep. What are you writing? Prescription. Lu Wancheng stared blankly. Huh? Are you going to give me a new medicine again? What kind of medicine is it this time? Lin Qingyu narrowed his eyes. A medicine to liven things up. Lu Wancheng. Dot dot dot. Lin Qingyu sneered. Your third brother said that because you can't satisfy me, I slandered him by saying he has kidney weakness. At this time, Hualu came in to deliver a message, interrupting Lu Wancheng's question mark. She said that a Dr. Chang was asking to see Xiao Zhen and was waiting in the courtyard. It's my shide, Lin Qingyu said. I will go see him. You can take a nap. Lu Wancheng said softly and slowly. Oh, all right. He closed his eyes again, but somehow he was no longer the slightest bit sleepy. Hualu walked softly and quietly to the bedside, thinking of tucking in the quilt for him. Suddenly, she heard him call out, Hualu? Follow jumped from fright. Young master, you're not asleep yet? Usually, at this hour, in Shaojun's words, young master should be dead asleep. Lu Wancheng sat up, hugged the pillow, and asked, when did you change the pillows to green? It makes me look like I have got something green on top of my head. What color would the young master like? I will change it for you. Lu Wancheng looked out the window, seemed thoughtful. I'll think about it. Lin Qingyu received Chang Yang in the main hall. Among their master's apprentices, Lin Qingyu and Chang Yang were accepted in the same year, and their relationship was a bit closer than with the other apprentices. Seeing each other after 2 years, Lin Qingyu inevitably felt a little rueful looking at this younger man before him, who was now obviously taller and darker skinned, thinking about how different his own situation was today. Shidi has grown taller. Lin Qingyu paused. He remembered someone's way of calling him Gao Shide. Suddenly, he couldn't speak anymore. He even wanted to laugh a little. Lu Wancheng hardly ever did anything proper, but his brainwashing skills were top notch. Chang Yang wasn't aware that Lin Qingyu's attention on him was already dragged away by someone else. He looked at Lin Qingyu deeply. His chest was full of agitated emotions. He was still a Shishang in his memory, steadfast and imposing. His voice is slightly cold. He was obviously a man, but his face can be described as beautiful but cold. It was a pity that though the person hasn't changed, the circumstances have. In just 2 short years, his cherished Shishang has become the wife of the invalid young master Hao. How could one possibly accept it? If he had known that his Shishang would someday marry a man and be someone's wife, he would have done it a long time ago. For what reason had he been enduring all these years? Oh my gosh, we got a competition, dude. Like, back away, he already is married and has a loving husband. Shush, shush, shush. We know he's not that bad of a guy, but just, drawing the line clearly would be nice. I'm pretty sure that trio of idiots would, try to take this crush as an advantage for sure. Okay. Compared to him, Lin Qingyu seemed to be much calmer. When did Shidi arrive at the capital? All sorts of feeling were welling up in Chang Yang's heart. He said, at the end of last year, I bid farewell to Master and returned to Linan to accompany my parents to rush to the capital after the new year. I first went to the Lin residence to look for you, but your father told me that you have already. Lin Qingyu asked, the master, how is he? Master is still strong and vigorous despite his age. It's just Shishang, you. Chang Yang lowered his voice. His eyes couldn't hide his emotions. Shishang, I know you were forced into this. An imperial decree left you with no choice but to surrender to a marriage. Having been reunited after such a long time, Lin Qingyu didn't want to talk about this with his junior. Stop talking. Chang Yang turned a deaf ear to him and said, no one knows Shishang better than I do. I know Shishang's ambitions well. Seeing Shishang having fallen to this point, I haven't closed my eyes for days and nights. Lin Qingyu frowned. Shidi, I have already figured out a way. I want to take you out of the Hao mansion. We can be the same as we were in the past, traveling together to all corners of the world. Lin Qingyu was about to interrupt when a male voice cut in. What are you talking about? Could you let me in on this as well? I want to hear too. The two turned to the sound. They saw Lu Wancheng, immaculately dressed with the elegance and refinement befitting a noble. Qingyu, won't you introduce me? Wow, Lu Wancheng has like his radar always ready when somebody's there. He's like, nope, I gotta show everybody that my wife has an elegant husband, so back off. Lin Jingyu found it a little strange. What was Lu Wancheng doing up at this hour? Shidi, this is young Master Hao. Young Master Hao, this is my junior brother. A simple and clear introduction, not a single word more than necessary. Chang Yang cupped his hands in obedience and said, greetings to young Master Hao. Lu Wancheng was immediately friendly and he said with a smile, hello Shidi. A different expression flashed in Chang Yang's eyes. He smiled. I pray that young Master Hao not misunderstand. He looked at Lin Qingyi's side profile. Shi Shang and I grew up together. We share a brotherly love for each other. Our relationship is deeper than ordinary people's. It has been a long time since we have seen each other, and we lost track of time talking. I hope we didn't disturb young Master Hao. Brotherly love? Huh! You think Lao Shi hasn't read enough novels to know that being a Shishang is a high risk occupation? Oh my gosh. Wait, is his name Lao Shi? So he read so many. I think he read so many BL novels in his previous life too. Like where he reads a little bit about this cultivation or this kind of like historical stuff. And he's like, yeah, I know, being a Shishang, Shidi, or Shizun is like a high risk occupation. Like everybody's crushing on you. And especially when it is such a beauty, everybody's like, yep, or drooling all over the place. And he's like just there blocking. We are all 1,000-year foxes here. No need to act all mysterious. Ooh, see, he's like, all men are foxes. I know what you're up to. Lu Wancheng kept the smile on his face. Misunderstand? What is there for me to misunderstand? I pray the Shidi not misunderstand that I might misunderstand. Now that Lu Wancheng was here, Chang Yang naturally could not continue their conversation just now. He said, by the way, Shishang, while visiting the South China Sea, Master discovered a medicine that has a miraculous effects on tuberculosis. Lin Qingyu's face was relaxed. Tell me about it. Now that they were talking about medicine, Lu Wancheng had no chance to interrupt. He didn't care. In any case, he remained seated as host with Lin Qingyu, holding his cup of tea and savoring its taste. It was in situations such as these that one must appear even tolerant. After the two had finished talking, Lu Wancheng warmly invited Chang Yang to stay for dinner. Chang Yang saw that his presence hadn't affected Lu Wancheng in the slightest, and instead it was he himself who became overcautious and annoyed. No matter how reluctant he was to part with his Shishang, he still declined Lu Wancheng's repeated invitations to stay. It was a pity that he had yet to explain his plan to his Shishang. However, he mustn't rush this matter. He will continue to look for other opportunities. Before leaving, Chang Yang mentioned that Lu Shaosong's condition was indeed due to kidney weakness and that he had prescribed the appropriate medicine. Lin Qingye said lightly, Lu Niantao already knows about our relationship as fellow disciples. I'm afraid Shiri wrote that prescription for nothing. After Chang Yang left, the noble sun aura on Lu Wancheng's body disappeared without a trace. He yawned and said, I'm so sleepy. I'm going to catch up on sleep. Lin Qingyu asked, what were you up to coming here and spouting a bunch of nonsense instead of taking an afternoon nap? Lu Wancheng smiled and said, wasn't it to provide warm hospitality to your Shidi? Lin Qingyu couldn't understand the reason for it. Why? Lu Wancheng smiled like a scoundrel. But this is the magnanimity of the Empress Chingyu. Wouldn't you say that this is completely different from the wildflowers outside? Lin Chingyu said, not really. I love how Lu Wancheng is like always tired and like lazy, but when it comes to his wife, in front of a third party, he's like, nope, I am gonna be like, the most noblest and elegant noble sons out there. Like, he has like the two faced kind of a thing, but he's like super open to lynching you, so I don't really care. I like that sneakiness in a male lead.